Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. From last few months, you have been hearing the news that the India is facing shortage of semiconductors. Because of such a shortage, the electronic manufacturing and also the automotive sector or the vehicle segment is being hampered. The growth is being hampered. So in this video, we will study in detail what do you mean by semiconductors, what are the applications of semiconductors, and why is India facing such type of shortages, and what are the schemes that the government has come up in order to bridge the demand and supply gap. See here, the chip shortage may continue as COVID-19 lingers. So here you can guess that the COVID-19 is the culprit, and the COVID-19 induced lockdowns was the result for such semiconductor shortages. Chip shortage, how the semiconductor industry is dealing with this worldwide phenomena. So the semiconductor shortage is not limited to India and it is a worldwide phenomena. Global chip shortage, Toyota profits fall as the productions hit. So the Toyota, which is one of the leading vehicle manufacturers in India and the globe, has seen fall in its production and also its profits. For example, when we talk about the impact on Maruti Suzuki, the company is said to sell 70,000 to 80,000 units less, or 5% reduction in its annual sales. This is because of the semiconductor shortage. 5% loss at Maruti, it will result in 2.5% loss in the Indian passenger vehicle market. Okay, Indian passenger vehicle market is huge. 2.5% of losses will amount to a very huge money. Okay, similar with the case of Renault and Nissan. Okay, in the Indian passenger market, here you can see 5 to 30% production in automotive, mobiles, laptops, TV segments may be affected due to shortage of parts. These parts are of semiconductor. Here you can see many sectors that are being affected. For example, automotive, mobiles, laptop, TV. These are the electronics and the auto sector which is being majorly affected by semiconductor shortages. Now let's see what is semiconductor. As the word itself suggests, it is a semiconductor, which means the conductivity of this material lies in between that of the conductor and the insulator. Semiconductor material has an electrical conductivity value falling between that of a conductor and an insulator. Semiconductors are essential component of electronic devices. As of now, we have connected car technology, unlike the earlier passenger vehicles that used to come with mechanized devices. Now we have electronic components. We have the majority of electronic components in automotive vehicles. Electronic devices enabling advances in communication. You are able to view this particular video. It's only because of lot many semiconductors are working in tandem. For us, in order to prepare this video and also for you to enable to view this video, lot many semiconductors are in place. So advances in communication, computing, healthcare and military systems, these are the applications where semiconductor devices can be used. These are the applications of semiconductors. If in your mains examination this becomes a part of GS3, which has science and technology, under this particular subheading, if a question is asked in your mains examination which asks you to write the applications of semiconductor devices, then you will be writing about all these sectors. Okay, you will be writing about all these sectors: transportation, clean energy and countless other applications. These are the many sectors in which the semiconductor devices can be used. You can say that we are being surrounded with semiconductors. Wherever we go, we are being surrounded with semiconductors in the present day world. Some of the examples of semiconductors: silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide. These are the important examples of semiconductors. See, when it comes to the UPSC point of view, from the UPSC point of view, you are not required to know the types of semiconductors. That is, when you talk about type, we talk about P-type semiconductors and also N-type semiconductors. And we also talk about something called as doping the semiconductors. I will leave it to your curiosity if you want to know more about this, and this becomes a part of science which has very least importance when it comes to UPSC prelims. I wouldn't recommend you to go in detail about this particular topic. If you know the applications and some examples of semiconductors, that would be enough from the examination point of view. Now let's come to the issue as such. That is, why is there a scarcity? Why is there the shortage of semiconductors? During the COVID-19 lockdowns, there were two phenomena that happened. One was the reduction in transport and also increasing in electronics or networking, because work from home started because of the COVID-19 induced lockdowns, and because of the demand in networking, and also there was increase in demand for laptops, desktops and also mobile phones. Okay, all these three experienced increase in demand. At the same time, when we speak about the transport sector, because there was lockdown in place, people did not prefer going out and the transportation was disincentivized, and this resulted in reduced reduced automobile demand and also production. When these two things happened, the semiconductor industry that was in place in India, it shifted its production towards manufacturing the microchips for laptops, desktops and mobile phones, because the production for the automobile sector was not there. Because the demand for the automobile sector was not there, they shifted their production towards the producing laptops, desktops and mobile phones. But what happened post pandemic? That is, what happened post pandemic, that I am speaking 6 or 7 months before, that is mid 2021, when we saw post pandemic growth, the demand for automobiles increased. When the demand for automobiles increased, but the semiconductor industry was concentrated towards producing chips for laptops, desktops and mobiles. In this case, as the demand increased for automobiles, the waiting period also increased. You can see the recently launched cars from Mahindra, that is Mahindra XUV 700, has a waiting period of 18 months. That is almost 1.5 years. And few luxury Tata cars like Safari and Nexon has the waiting period of almost 3 to 4 months. Okay, this is happening not because there is a delay in the production of the automobile as such, because there is a delay in the production of semiconductors. Okay, this is why we are experiencing the shortage of semiconductors. Post pandemic growth and the growth in demand for automobiles has caused such a shortage when it comes to semiconductors. Let's see the situation in India, semiconductors and India. You all know that there are three sectors in Indian economy, that is agriculture, manufacturing and services. Till 1991, that is new economic reforms, India was majorly, India's GDP was majorly contributed by agriculture. And what happened after 1991 reforms, you all are aware, India shifted its economy from agriculture to services. During this shift, manufacturing industry was neglected. That is the reason why we have something called Make in India initiative. As of now, we have Make in India. This is because post 1991 reforms, Indian economy moved towards services and the manufacturing industry was neglected. When this manufacturing industry was neglected, we have, look at here, India's share in global electronics hardware production was 1.6% in 2012. It was 1.6% in 2012. When it comes to 2017, it stood at 3.2%. Okay, this is the latest data that we have. India's share in global electronics hardware production was 1.6% in 2012 and it increased to 3.2% in 2017. According to Niti Aayog's report, electronics industry is one of the fastest growing industry in India. Okay, it is the one of the fastest growing industry in India because India's population as of now we can tell it to be 135 crores and we have 120 crore mobile phones in India, mobile users around, and 60 crore internet users in India. Okay, and if this 60 crore starts increasing and we have internet penetration, then we can say this is the reason why we have India as the destination for the fastest growing electronics industry. Okay, India is the destination for the largest and the fastest growing electronic industry. But in spite of India being the largest and the fastest growing electronic industry, India is a net importer of electronic goods, with the majority of India's imported electronics coming from China. Okay, this is an important fact when you talk about the electronics on the semiconductor manufacturing industry in India. This is something that you have to quote. Now, government has come up with initiatives in order to bridge the demand and supply, and the first one in those schemes or the initiatives is ISM, which stands for India Semiconductor Mission. ISM stands for India Semiconductor Mission, in which government is planning to have an investment of 76,000 crores for semiconductor manufacturing in India. And also we have PLI scheme, that is production linked incentive scheme for semiconductor production. And the third one is called SPECS, that is scheme for promotion of manufacturing of electronic components and semiconductors. This is an important scheme that I would recommend you to remember when you write any answer regarding the electronics industry and also the semiconductor. This is something that you have to quote. Government has received 5 proposals in the first round for setting semiconductor and display fabs in India, and this news is a part of ISM, that is India Semiconductor Mission, which has an outlay of 76,000 crores. Indian semiconductor market size was estimated to be $15 billion in 2020 and is expected to reach $63 billion by 2026. We have discussed India is the fastest growing market when it comes to electronics or the semiconductor industry. This is a data. By 2026, India is expected to reach $63 billion. Indian electronics manufacturing or the electronics industry is expected to reach, the market cap is expected to reach $63 billion by 2026. That is 4 years from now. Okay, we have discussed about the importance of semiconductor, the reasons for the reasons for the shortage of semiconductors and these schemes or the initiatives that were started by the government in order to bridge the demand and supply gap. Now let's see the question. Define semiconductors, discuss the impact of semiconductor shortage on Indian economy. This is a very broad question which asks you to discuss the impacts of semiconductor shortage on Indian economy. First part of the question, define semiconductors. Okay, we have discussed this. Semiconductors are the materials which has the conductivity lying between that of a conductor and an insulator. Okay, that is how you define a semiconductor, and discuss the impact of semiconductor shortage on Indian economy. See, semiconductor shortage has created a vicious cycle. For example, because there is a reduction in the semiconductor manufacturing, you have reduction in vehicle sales or the vehicle production. Okay, this is hindering. When you have reduced production capacity, you will lay out people and you will create less employment, or it leads to unemployment. Okay, it leads to unemployment. When there is an unemployment, you have reduced income. When you have reduced income, you will have reduced demand in the economy, and if there is a reduced demand, there will be reduction in investment again. If there is a reduction in investment, there is a reduction in the employment generation and also income. So this forms a vicious cycle, a very bad cycle, and this is the impact of shortage of semiconductors on Indian economy. Okay, even if you write this diagram, it is very well and good, and always remember, diagrams in UPSC are always rewarded. In your mains examination, diagrams are rewarded, and in this context, I would want you to practice these kind of diagrams, and have it beforehand, so that you will be able to write these diagrams in less time when it comes to the exam. Okay, so I hope you have liked the video. Thanks a lot. For more such enriching content, please subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy. Thank you. Have a nice day.